Okay, so I just wanted to have a little talk about the car again. It's been a few weeks now since I last built the other one, which I actually built for Camel over at Drone Junkie. It was his sample build. This one is my personal one and it's still ongoing. But after a couple of weeks of, 2 or 3 weeks of having access to it, I wanted to go over a few of the issues that it's starting to have. Generally speaking, the entire back end is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. All the issues are in the front end, which makes a lot of sense because it's a brand new design. So, as you can see, I've got the upgraded suspension on here at the moment. Let's have a look at this then. So, what's the biggest issues, as I spoke about before, is that you have to disassemble the entire front end if you want to just take the motor out. You also have to disassemble the entire front end if you want to replace the gears, if any gears are broken too. So that's one of the big drawbacks to this one. After having some time running with it, the other issues are starting to appear, which is what I was expecting. So the first thing is, I actually dropped mine. And which one? This one. I dropped mine, and this lower arm now comes on and off really easily. It just pops on and off so easily. It's because the little post has gotten damaged. Put that back on if I can. So, get this on camera if I can. Just like that, it's gone. That's because I dropped it. It damaged the little shaft a tiny bit. Put it back on again. There we go. And the other one's fine because the little post here. The post on this one is fine, but this one got damaged when I dropped it. So you can get a close up of it. So it just easily pops off now, which is not a good thing. It means it can just easily pop off whenever it feels like it. Yeah, I know there's a bit of damage here. This is from when I was trimming. I never actually touched this post here. This actually got damaged when I dropped it, and it just sort of, as you can see, it's a little shorter and it's a bit angled downwards like that, which is not good. This leads, but for me, that's my problem with this one. But I do know other people have been having another problem with it. In a second, I'll put this back on. There we go. If you can, I don't know if you can see, but mine has a little bit of movement in it now. It's hard to see on camera, but you can feel it in person. The other side doesn't move as much. That's not the issue I want to talk about. The other issue is, after plenty of use, the same issue I'm having with the lower arm is actually happening with this section, the C-hubs. These are also becoming weak and starting to pop out. Now, I've not experienced that one yet, because mine's just popping off on here. The whole lower arm's popping off, but I have noticed that some people have been talking about these popping off too, after having some pretty rigorous use to them. So that's not very good. But there's another issue that contributes to this one coming loose, and that is the poor design of the upper arms. As you can see, it's actually mounted with two ball heads. I'm not sure if we can get close on that. So these are mounted with two ball heads, The problem is, as you can see, I'm just gently poking it, and it's just moving with no effort, and that's translating through to the bottom pins here and causing these to become damaged and weakened. Like I say, the other issue is because this is moving, because the upper arm is moving, being attached to ball links, as you can see, look. That's just gentle. There's really no pressure being put on to do that, which is really not good. The other problem is, like I say, it's because these are loose. What it really needs is to have this part here, the mount that holds the shock and the arm. This needs to be redesigned a bit, maybe extended outwards, so the shock goes a bit more vertical, and you can bring the little mount here more in line with the lower mount. You can, I'm not sure if you can see it, like losing a bit of light. It's offset, which is not good. What you want to do is bring it so it's nice and level, then have an A-frame arm so that it's much more rigid than what this is. So an A-frame arm would be similar to what the lower arms are, a bit like this. But you can get away with a slightly thinner one as long as it goes either side of this hole here, which this ball stud goes into. I mean, other than that, it's a great little car, but the fact the whole suspension just falls apart so easily is not good. I think this one really needs to go through a new design iteration just to iron out these kinks. So personally, I probably wouldn't recommend this one quite as much, especially since there's not any there's no spare part availability at the moment because it's brand new. I mean, they might release some metal hop-up parts for these, for this front end assembly, that might correct these issues, but this stock plastic setup is really no good. It's really weak, really flimsy, it's just not really great, to be honest. It does not have much longevity in it. That's pretty much all there is to say about it. I mean, other than that, it's a great little car. The back end's fine, there's no issues with the back end. Back end's perfectly fine. I mean, mine's reacting slowly because I've added grease into it. And yeah, I mean, there's not really anything you can complain about with it. It's a great car, other than the entire front end, it's just too flimsy. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking about how flimsy it is, and yeah, I'll make a video about the electronics too.